Hi, everyone. This is, oh my goodness, a wonderful day. And it's such a pleasure. I get to meet with this amazing man, and you're all going to meet him in a few minutes. My name, of course, is Denise Farrell from Living Life with Denise. And I get the pleasure to introduce everyone to the man behind the scenes, the man who makes it happen in a lot of groups. Some of you don't even know that he is the admin. I don't know if he wants you to know that, but I just put it out there. All right. So this is Pat DiCola, and he's a founder and partner he's a founder and partner of MShop 360, which is a technology and IT marketing agency. Let me tell you a little bit about him. He told me that he sold over $2 million in 1 year. Did I get that right, Pat?
Yeah.
At his previous job. And then he and his partner started MShop 360. And let me tell you about him, right? He's like an all-round winner. I mean, when they were giving away winning, he was at the front of the line. So he and his company are number 4, Philly's 100 fastest growing companies. All right. And that's not anything to sneeze at. They do a lot of metrics and everything to make sure that these companies are actually doing everything they claim they're doing. So this is amazing. On top of that, he's over 6 times, their company has won over 6 times best off the main line. All right. So their company is just like MShop 360 is the company to know. All right. In addition to that, he's number 3 in the world for Candy Crush, guys. Can he just give us a break? You know, he's just winning at everything.
I don't know if that's winning.
Well, we'll see. Somebody who's number 100 wishes they were number 3.
Way too much time on my hands, evidently. This is what my wife would say.
And let me talk to you a little bit about him on a personal level now that he mentioned his wife. So one thing I love about Pat is that he has one of the biggest hearts that I know of. He's always giving. He has integrity, which is extremely important for me. He is a father of 3, and he has a beautiful wife, Michelle. And just to know him is to absolutely love him. This guy is all around a good guy. But enough about me talking about him. Pat, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone? Because I know everybody wants to meet you.
So yeah, you I don't know. I think you need to follow me around when I walk into rooms. I think you need to be my hype person. It's not all that exciting. It's one thing I will mention yes, we won at least 6 times the best of the main line, but we never really rested on that. That wasn't important to us. What was more important, and even to this year, I would say 50 to 60 of our clients have won best of the main line. That's more important to us than us winning it, because we're kind of like behind the scenes. But if our clients are winning it, we're doing the right things for them. That's much more important. And every year I usually post that. 47 of our clients have now won best of the main line this year. Congratulations to our team and their teams. Like, that's more important, way more important to us than us winning it. It just, it's more what we do, so more so than what we are.
Your clients are proof that you guys really care about them. And, we're going to get into that a little bit later, because that's the philosophy that I love most about you, that your intention is to give value to people. So, I know you like clocks, and I know you like watches, as we can see the clocks behind him and everything.
Yeah.
But, tell us, what inspires you?
So early on, we realized, we can have successes and they're great. And, you can cheers with champagne glasses. But if, early on, one of my clients came to me and he was a contractor. He was a tree contractor. Mm-hmm. And I had been working with him for about 2 years at that point. And I went to his shop and he walked me outside and pointed to like 3 pieces of machinery. And he goes, "You're the reason why I was able to buy those 3. Normally I would have to rent them and it would kill the profitability on any jobs, but now I own them and it's 100% for what you've done for this company." And that was way early on in my career. And that's kind of what gets me going, is being able to, have our clients come back to us and say, "You did this, this, and this for us. And it's enabled me to put my kids through college, buy a new house, get a shore house, pay my bills, a lot of the things you that are, you don't think twice about, and them to trace it back to us and our company and our team and say, it's because what you guys did for us. That's what gets me going personally.
And that's big, because sometimes when people sell stuff, they just keep on moving, but you sell to make people's lives richer.
Right.
So I absolutely love that. So let's talk a little bit about when you and the founders decided to start MShop 360. I think during our conversation yesterday, there are a lot of nuggets that got me really inspired, but one was, if we don't add value, we cannot continue. Most people don't start a company saying that. What's the story behind that?
So I feel like, as if we talked about before, our company has a lot of offerings. We do a lot of things. There comes a time when someone asks us for something and we'll decline, only because I feel like if we don't add value to the situation, we're not going to get in the middle of it and take a percentage. In our industry, especially the marketing end of our industry, there's a lot of individuals that are happy to get in the middle of deals to get their percentage and then move on the cost to someone else. I'm the first to say we can or cannot add value. If we can't, we certainly will help you. We'll get you in touch with somebody who can and facilitate it, but we don't need to be in the middle of it. There's no reason why we need to take a percentage of everything. And that's one of the main philosophies of the company. If we don't add value in a situation, we're not going to insert ourselves just to become another layer of costs.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like your philosophies, and it makes a lot of sense, because I guess in the long run, God always pays you back for doing the right thing. So you don't need to take advantage of anyone or insert yourself where you don't belong.
Right.
All right. Awesome. All right. Next question for you. You said that when you all were starting a company, that you guys decided that you would create a company that you would love to work with.
Right. So I hear that a lot, believe it or not, from business owners. They tend to forget, though. Mm-hmm. They tend to start out that way, but then they all turn into that boss that you had that you didn't like for whatever reasons. I can honestly say that in the 13 years that we've been together as a partnership, we've stayed the course. We designed the company that it was salesperson friendly, let's say, because two of the partners came from sales. I mean, we worked for people and we were sales. My livelihood for 20 years before I was here was I brought in $1 and they gave me 20 cents of it. And that was how the relationship was. So it was purely commission. And sometimes situations were fair, sometimes they weren't. But they was always stacked towards the house. Whereas here, we'll always make the salesperson first. There's two salespeople not fighting over an account or over the same account. We pay them both. It's just easier to keep everybody happy. Myself and one of the other managers, if we get involved with a rep's account, we can do 99% of it. They still get 100% of their commission. It has nothing to do with how they get paid. We're there to facilitate for them. And I really feel like, as an owner manager, I'm here where I work for my employees. They don't work for me. Anything I can do to make their path clearer, that's my job. That's 100% of my job.
Wow. I currently work with a sales company, and you sound with Mary Kay, actually, and you sound just like how our founder sounded. But I've also worked with companies in the past that it wasn't an asset to be good, because then the company was always looking for a way to nickel and dime you, or to tell you that you had to do this much more in order to keep at your base salary. Mm-hmm. And, yesterday when you were talking, I was also impressed by the fact that you said, you encourage your salespeople to be creative and to think out the box, and that has caused you to grow and become really, really good. Tell us more about that.
I would say there's at least a dozen policies, let's say, that are instituted in our company that were brought about by our employees saying we should really try it this way. Mm-hmm. And we do. We try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we move on. What I like, one of my partners, Don, always says, a lot of the difference between us and larger companies is that we're like a jet ski versus a cruise ship. Big companies, when you institute change, you have to run it through legal, you have to run it through research and development, and it's like a slow turn to focus on different things. About 8 years ago, a technology came about in website development called responsive technology, which basically means it's what websites are today. You look at them on any phone or tablet, and the actual website reconforms to the size of whatever screen you're looking on. Prior to that, you had like the mobile site and the regular site, and they were two different sites. It was cumbersome. One of our developers came about 8 years ago and said, there's this new technology. I'd love to try it. We immediately went to our production list and said, who wants to be the guinea pig? Who wants to try it for free? And within 6 months, we had changed to that technology, and that's really what it's been ever since. But it was, we have our meetings every week, and we generally encourage people to bring new ideas each time, and we'll always try something. And there's a lot of the things we offer today that we didn't offer 8 years ago. IT, for one of the major components of our company, we really didn't do IT. It became a need from a client, and we added that division.
I like that, because I too have worked at companies where the people, the staff, their opinion was not valuable at all.
Right.
Yeah. So that's really good. And that explains why you guys are over 4 times Philly's fastest growing company. Yeah,
Philly 100. We won it 4 times in a row. It's based on growth. So at some point you can't win it anymore, just unless you're, it's based on percentage of growth. So you can only grow so much. And obviously with COVID and some challenges over the last couple of years, it's been, we've done very well for ourselves, but we're not showing the numbers of growth like we did when we were early on.
That makes sense.
We're good. We're good. We're very happy.
All right. That makes sense. So it sounds like you have a very good work environment for the people who work for you. And I heard that, you told me that December 2nd is a special day. Tell us about December 2nd.
So without getting into too many details, I think everyone's got a date that they remember in their business life that might have not been such a great day. And I felt like it was a date that I was not treated the best as an employee. So I adopted it as when I started a company, and this was when I first started, and it's just me and one other employee. It was going to be Employee Appreciation Day. So every year on December 2nd, I go get a bunch of Wawa cards and I give them out to all the employees. And the new people are like, well, what's this for? And I just said, thank you for helping us out and helping us grow. And they're like, oh, great, I'll go get lunch.
It's so funny because sometimes people, that's one thing I like about you. I love it about you. It's that you use the law of polarity, because you could have just been bitter and treated your employees bad and look at that day like a bad day. You're like, no, I'm going to create good from this. And you've made the lives of your employees richer because everybody looks forward to December 2nd. It's like an early Christmas.
Well, I'll say this, and I didn't invent this saying, but I've really adopted it over the years. When you're angry at someone else and you hold a grudge, it's like taking poison and wishing the other person died.
That is so true.
So,
that is so true.
Focus on the good and focus on yourself, and it doesn't seem so bad now.
Seems to be working out really well for you.
Yeah, it was a blessing.
Awesome. So we talked about camaraderie. We talked about the kind of life. I don't know the right word. Let's see here. Culture. Thank you. Reading my mind. That you have at your work at your company. We talked about why you started the company. Let's talk a little bit about money, because, I'm sure people who are watching today, when they are thinking about starting a business or they're running their business, their number one focus is, how do I create more money? Now, you were curious because you and your founders decided that money was going to be number 6.
Right. So when we developed our plan of how we were going to join, just some 20-second background, there were 3 partners. We each had our own companies, which are our own offices, and we worked together on multiple clients together, doing different aspects of their business. Some marketing, some IT, some digital, some print. And we became friends. We decided that it would make a lot of sense if we had one company to work under. Mm-hmm. It would be one ticket. The clients would have one person to call versus 3. It worked out very well. We had, for 3 or 4 years, we worked together separately. And then once all of our leases of our offices expired, we got together and just formed one corporation. That was MShop 360. So obviously there's a lot that goes into building a company and starting a company from scratch. In our case, we were merging 3 companies. And yes, financial aspect of it is very important in building a business. I don't want to downplay that. But as far as revenue, we knew there'd be revenue. We were offering something so unique in the market. No one else in the Philadelphia market at that time, and really since, marries IT with digital marketing and website development and regular advertising agency work. No one has that all together. So we knew that clients were going to, we had our own clients. They were going to stay with us. They were going to increase their holdings. Financially, we weren't worried about the revenue. That will come. I think if you start from the ground and use the foundation of setting up everything correctly for people and making sure everybody gets what they need in a fair scenario, the money will take care of itself. And it has. It really has. We don't have any ironclad rules that we make new clients adhere to. Whatever fits for them, we'll do. If it's a la carte, it's a la carte. If it's some sort of service agreement, it's that. If you want to change it, we'll change it. There's no, we've never held anybody's feet to the fire for any unreasonable contract extensions. If it works for you, you're going to continue to do it. And we're blessed that not many people stop using our services, a handful. And I can say that maybe we should have not. That's the flaw, I think, with our company, is that we think we can help everybody. And some people we're just not a fit for. So that's kind of been the big change over the last 4 or 5 years. There's people that fit, and there's people that probably don't need our services, or maybe work in a different way, or maybe do things a little bit outside the lines that we don't feel comfortable with. And we should probably stay away from this.
Yeah, that was also fascinating when we talked, because you're like, there's some people you're just like, nah, you're just not a good fit for us. And Thank you for your business, but not a lot of companies do that.
And to be specific, not to dwell on it, but if there's a lot of technology out there, and there's a lot of licensing for different software, and there's a lot of people that feel like software should be free. You should be able to go buy it and use it and everybody share it. And there's a lot of licensing things with that, and we won't. And some of the clients we've had over the years that we've had to say goodbye to wanted to kind of stretch the rules as far as licensing, and we really need to stay above board with that. It's not something we want to go down.
See, that's why integrity. Number one, integrity, doing the right thing when no one is watching. That's good. That's very good.
Oh, Microsoft is watching. Google is watching.
Yes. All right, next one. What is your secret sauce for your company?
I think our secret sauce is to just make sure that the client wins. In many industries, you focus on what you do, you build your widget, and you put it out there, not knowing how it's going to be used, not knowing how it will be, perceived by the public, how the pitfalls, what will work, what won't work. We really try to put ourselves in the situation of the client. And, we start all of our marketing meetings, let's say, or even our team meetings, is what is it that you need to achieve? And we work backwards in developing them, either a website or an IT plan or, some managed services or something that they have. You got to start with what the client needs, because there's too many companies that feel that they're too big for the industry, and they're going to tell you what you need and just plug it in and you go. Whereas it doesn't really work for everybody like that. So I think the customization is the most important thing. We do, just as an example, we do digital marketing. And a lot of people do that. Like, it's not, we do it in the most inefficient way that exists. We do it by hand, and a single person manages each account manually. It is the most inefficient, terrible way to do it from a business point of view, but it works 3 times as well for the client. And there's a lot, we get approached all the time by companies that want to sell us an algorithm that you plug everything in and it's all done automated. Well, the internet is not it cannot be automated. Many big companies have learned that. eBay was Google's #1 client, and they changed their algorithm and all their listings disappeared. eBay called them and said, we spend almost $1 billion with you guys. You have to, what are you doing? They said, you're not our customer. The searcher is our customer. That's who we have to keep happy. And if everything is an algorithm and everything is automated, it's going to become very stale and one-sided. It has to be about the searcher, the end user. That's the customer. Well, to us, the client is telling us how they want things. We need to listen to them from the very first conversation to design a program, be it a system for their, for their offices. They want to have 12 employees working half at home, half at the office on a secure VPN.
Mm-hmm.
Most people would just push their product out and say, this is how you use it, figure it out. Where we start from the client's need first. And I feel like that's really been the secret sauce all along. It's a lot more work, but we don't lose clients. People are generally happy with us. They're leaving all these big, huge automated companies that handle their IT from Connecticut, and they don't ever send anyone out, and they don't even know what they look like. They get a different person every time they call an 800 number. We have dedicated techs that have dedicated clients. They know they're going to call Joe. They're going to call Andrew. They're going to call Chris. They're going to call whomever we have, Carmen, that's available, and they know them. They know my system, and they're going to get me right back up if I'm down.
I'm so excited about the fact that you guys do everything by hand, because you're right. Google, Facebook, all of them, they change that algorithm
Constantly.
YouTube constantly. And if a machine is doing it, the machine is not intelligent enough to make those updates. Wow. I'm impressed. Very impressed. All right. Let's talk about a couple more things before we jump into what you do for fun, which I think is so curious. So the last thing is human equity. You said your goal is to grow the human equity. And as I said to you before, when I think of human equity, I always think of Mary Kay Ash. She would say, take away the company, leave me the people, and I can rebuild it again. How does that work in your organization? So
there's a lot of ways that you judge milestones in a company. To us, it's always been about the team, the staff. I feel like our future growth is 100% anchored to the fact that we're going to invest in people. We're going to bring them into our culture. We're going to have them feel confident that they can provide for their family then ongoing, hopefully forever. And that's our goals, is to grow human equity versus just, dollar equity or client equity. Those things obviously are needed, but the most important thing, we had been in a position over the years where we had way too many clients and not near enough people to service them. A lot of people would love to have that problem, but you really don't, because then you're really selling people short. And we couldn't grow as much as we would like to have grown, because we just had more business than we had really qualified people to handle. So we had some growing pains. We've since added some really amazing people. We've invested in them, and we'll continue to. And we're always looking for more. We could use 5 people tomorrow. But the big problem is there's a lot of people that want jobs. There's not a lot of people that want a career, that want to have, their next stop to be their last. There's a lot of people, they're teaching people in college, go out, work for someone for 2 years, get experience, and then stepping stone somewhere else. That's difficult for us because we put so much time and effort into training and building them, then for them to leave. And that's great if they're moving on. We always wish them well, but we want people that are going to come, stay, and grow with us as we grow. Even maybe own part of the company, maybe even own a franchise of us, or an executive owner, or limited partnership. We're open to a lot of different scenarios to help us grow and have people that are invested in the growth, not just punching the clock.
So it's kind of like you want an ambitious entrepreneurial person who's willing to grow, build a startup, their own startup.
With a lot less, with all the learning curve already done for you.
Exactly. You know what? And I think the reason why a lot of colleges probably have finally caught on with, telling people that they should maybe go somewhere, work somewhere for 2 years and then leave, is because when my father was working, you could work for someone for 30 years, 40 years and get a gold watch. And then things changed. And now you can't do that anymore. But your company is saying to people, I'm not only going to give you the gold watch, I'm going to give you the diamond mine that you can mine for yourself and create as much abundance as you can imagine.
Right.
You're giving them the keys to their own kingdom.
Entrepreneurial minds are few and far between, and that's been the challenge in growing, because we want to grow with the right people, because we're trusting them with our whole business. Generally, we don't, they're handling aspects of the business that are every client, every turn. So we make sure we hire the best people, and we've been super lucky so far. We've got great people.
Well, you're always if you're a good person and you do the right thing, I believe that you will attract the right people, because that's what I believe.
You hope.
Yeah, I hope I'm right. All right. Okay, so now let's talk about how you give back. So during the pandemic, one of the biggest industries that was hit was the service industry. These are
Yes.
people who I remember when I used to be a waitress, and I wasn't good at it. I can tell you that for sure. But I know that that's what I used to pay extra bills. There's some
Sure.
people who live on what they make as a waitress. And then not to mention the people who own the restaurant. These are family businesses and things like that. And I was fascinated by the fact that you actually made it your mission to adopt local businesses. So please share with the audience how that started and how do you go about doing that?
So during the pandemic, obviously everyone's working from home. Um, and whether you want to believe it or not, you had more free time. You really did. Um, and I personally have a lot of friends that own businesses, a couple dozen friends that own or involved in the restaurant industry, and they were really suffering. So I initially had reached out to them individually and said, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. I think I can help you. We market businesses all the time. I certainly wouldn't take anything from you, but because this is your livelihood and we certainly want to help you, but let me know. So one of the things we realize is we have a huge social media presence. About 3 years ago, we started some community pages on Facebook. For the main reason why is because the community pages that existed, and they're still around, were maniacal, to say the least, charging people to join their communities, charging people to post, throwing posts off if you didn't pay your fees to post. And this is Facebook. They don't own Facebook, but they feel like they have this power to create these exclusive clubs and then charge, which I always thought was ridiculous. So I'm going to start my own. So we started a few groups, and as we started different communities, people would say, well, what about this area? What about that area? So we've grown to about 6 community networks. We have a good footprint in the Philadelphia market, and we've got 60 or 70,000 followers now in these groups. And they're mainly geared towards helping businesses promote themselves. So during the pandemic, we have clients that we always did social media for. It's part of one of our offerings. And I said, we should be doing this for free for restaurants right now. Mm-hmm. And we set the program up. And like I said to myself, why shouldn't it just always be there? So even after pandemic, I mean, this is going to be forever. I think we're going to try to keep this program running. It's called Adopt Local Restaurants. And we have a page. And if any restaurant in these areas, all you need to do is post your content on this page, and it will get shared to all the community networks that are relevant to your business. Some of them are local, so it's only a couple, but we'll help them, give them the keys to set up their social media, their Facebook page. We'll help them with promotions. We'll help them with graphics. Anything that they need, we'll do for them. And the idea is to eventually teach them how to fish, if that makes any sense, so they can do it all themselves, and they'll have free access to all these tools for free. Forever, really. So they can become a social media expert over time. And then, we'll always do the posts for them, but it's not that hard. Most of them have no starting point, so they don't know. And we brought them up to where they're confident enough to make a post, confident enough to share it to the groups that they want. And I'm 100% available. I'm one of the owners of the company, but I still do 50 posts a day for a pizza place, a restaurant, fine dining, wherever, just to help them out. Because, whether people want to believe that they're super busy or not, I feel like I'm super busy, but there's moments in between the busyness where I have a couple minutes. I was number 3 in the world. I was number 1 in the world in Candy Crush for a long time until my 2 kids came. This silly kid made me drop to 3, but obviously I've got time on my hands. So if I can be doing this stuff, I can certainly help out a local business to quick give them a post. And what's interesting is, we work with a lot of companies that manage their website, hundreds, and we see the analytics of what goes on in the background. And when we started this program, one of our clients said, wow, we've been swamped. Can you take a look at what's going on? And my partner does with the analytics. He's like, what is this? He's like, there's like 20,000 clicks here that came from social media this month. What did you do? I said, I made like 3 posts. He's like, wow, that's powerful. That really is powerful, because, in the digital world, you pay for impressions and clicks in pretty much every turn of the coin. And this is completely free. So it's a powerful medium. I'm sure Facebook will figure out a way to charge for it at some point. But for right now, for the foreseeable future, it's a very viable medium and really it was because of the pandemic. because people were sitting at home on their phones with nothing else to do. So these community groups went from a couple thousand to 20, 30,000 overnight because everyone's sitting at home. So you're just on trolling Facebook the whole time, looking for something to do, something to look at, something to like, something to not like, roll your eyes at.
Wow.
So that's that. So yes. So any local restaurants that are in search of that, it's pinned at the top of all the community pages to just say, shoot us a message and we'll get involved and help you out and do what we can to get your business rolling again.
So could you remind everybody what are some of the community pages that you guys own so that they may find them?
So Westchester community, Newtown Square community, Delco community, Berwyn, Paoli community, Glen Mills, and Marple Newtown community.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Guys, I hope you made a note of that. This video, of course, will be up and running, so you can always watch us again.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So, I didn't know that all of that happened in the background with the clicks and everything, which you are an expert at, of course, but it's good to always give back, and that these restaurants who I thought were, really suffering, a lot of them now have hope.
They do. And hopefully the tide's turned. And, there's a number of people that aren't coming back, and that's unfortunate because there were some really good quality people that were doing a really nice job in the community. And, their business was set up in such a way where they couldn't do takeout. They couldn't do delivery. They were based in these, huge restaurants with huge rents, lots of employees. And it was tough for a while. Hopefully, they'll find other avenues, but the ones that survived have gone through it. They know. So, and the misnomer is that they were getting all this PPE money. And, a restaurant recently in Philadelphia that did weddings closed, and they had deposits from people that had been booked their wedding. They went through and were able to take their own personal money and give back about half of the deposits. And there were people outraged that they got all this PPP money. Well, the PPP money went to all their employees as it came in. People don't realize when you get that money, you've got to justify where it goes, and they audit it. It's got to go to your employees. So it went to all his employees. This was his personal money that he took to give back deposits. And yes, you might have lost a couple $1,000s, but this guy lost his business. Like, it's a little bit, everyone's got to kind of realize that this is for real for a lot of businesses. Some people had to work from home for a while and it was inconvenient, and your kids were getting sticky stuff home with your computer. Some people just had no income for 8 months, zero. So you just got to look at your perspective on the world sometimes.
Yeah, and then don't they? If they had loans on that business, they're still on the line for those loans.
Still on some of them. A lot of the loans, what people don't realize, are tied to your house.
Oh,
so a lot of people are in the next 6 to 8 months are going to be having major issues with their whole world, really. So anything that we can do to help out any little bit, hopefully I can say. Hopefully we'll hear stories over the next year about how people survived, and it was because of some of the things that we did. I hope so. And we'll keep doing them. And there's always a catastrophe a fire to put out. So we'll always be around for it.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. You speak with such passion, such wisdom, and you have joy. I can feel it radiating from you. And I like the fact that you have purpose to make the lives of others so much better than when you found it. Right. And that is something that I absolutely love about you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So as we close out, I want to post your website on so everybody can see. And I know you all are looking for, and I'm going to read it exactly as I see it on your website. It says, okay, they want to collaborate. So MShop 360, let me put the name up first. Hold on a second here. I think I got it. Banners. All right. So MShop 360, if you're someone out there who is entrepreneurial, who's ambitious, and who, understands the value of integrity and creating value for people, this could be a job/opportunity for you to build your own legacy. So they're looking to collaborate with ambitious individuals that are willing to go further and do extra for their clients and the team. If you have those qualities and you align with the values of this wonderful man, I want you to reach out. Take a chance on yourself. You never know. And for those of you who already have businesses and you're looking for a way to create more value for your customers, or maybe you never thought about even creating value for people. Maybe your thought was, how can I make more profits? If you flip it around and create way more value, then the money will come.
Absolutely.
Pat, DiCola, I want to thank you. I know you're a very busy man, but I want to thank you so much for sharing your time with me. It was my pleasure. The people at Living Life with Denise, oh my God, this is one of our best interviews. And I'm looking forward to having you on again if you're
Awesome.
open.
For sure.
Can share with other people.
Absolutely.
Guys, thank you. Anything you want to say before we close, Pat?
No, Denise, I really appreciate it. I think since I've gotten to know you, it's only been positive, and I think you're one of those people that people need to get to know because good things will happen being around you. I think there's not a lot of people that you come across that are like that, where something good will happen. You just need to get to know Denise. She will definitely add value to your life.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Guys, we love you all. We're going to come off. Pat, stay on. But everyone else, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.